Most women think men only remember what happens between the sheets, but the truth is, that's not what stays with him. What he remembers most is how you made him feel, the unspoken things, the energy you carried, the way you responded when the masks came off. Because in that first intimate moment, he's not just touching your body, he's quietly judging your soul. When a man experiences his first intimate moment with a woman, he isn't just taking in the physical experience. He's reading everything, your tone, your body language, and most of all, your emotional presence. While society often paints men as visually driven or focused on technique, the truth is many men deeply tune into the emotional quality of that moment. They're not just asking, was this good? But how did it feel to be with her? That answer doesn't come from a checklist of moves. It comes from how emotionally available and engaged you are. When a woman is present, not distracted, not self-conscious, not pretending, it makes the man feel something more real. And that feeling is powerful. He starts to judge not just the moment, but who you are. Were you truly there with him, or were you simply letting the moment happen to you? Were you making it about mutual connection, or about ticking off some imaginary box of performance? This is the part where many women don't realize how deep men go in their judgment. They may not express it with words, but inside they're thinking, did she make me feel seen? Did she seem like she even wanted to be there with me emotionally? Or was this just a physical exchange? When a woman is present emotionally, her touch is different. Her energy is softer or stronger. It fits the moment because it's real. She looks him in the eye. She listens with her body. She's not trying to be somewhere else. And he notices. Even if he doesn't fully understand it consciously, he feels it. That presence creates trust. It tells him, you're someone who lives in the moment, not someone who's stuck in their head. It tells him you're not thinking about judgment or fear or strategy. You're just being. And that is rare. Emotional presence also shows up in the little moments. How you smile after a kiss. How you respond to vulnerability, whether you laugh with him or pull away when things get real. Men judge these signals because they reveal who you are beneath the surface. You could be physically perfect and still leave a man feeling emotionally alone if your energy is disconnected. But when you're present, truly there with him, it creates a level of intimacy that leaves a lasting impact. He may not articulate it in a sentence, but he stores it. He remembers how he felt in your presence. If he felt accepted, relaxed, and connected, he changes how he sees you, not just as someone he was with for one night, but as someone whose energy lingers. And if he doesn't feel that emotional engagement, he might walk away wondering what was missing, even if everything else seemed perfect. Because men, despite what the world says, remember how you made them feel far more than anything else. When a man enters into a moment of intimacy for the first time with a woman, he's not just baring his body, he's baring a part of his vulnerability, whether he realizes it or not. Despite all the bravado or confidence he might show on the surface, there's always a layer of uncertainty underneath. Will he be accepted? Will he be enough? Will she enjoy this? Or will she compare him to someone else? These questions often swirl quietly in his subconscious, and how a woman responds in that vulnerable space plays a major role in how he judges her. He's watching how she reacts, not just to the experience itself, but to his unspoken fears and insecurities. If she laughs at the wrong moment, brushes him off, or shows a hint of boredom or criticism, it strikes a chord deeper than most women realize. It tells him something about how emotionally safe he is with her, and safety is something even the most confident man seeks when he allows himself to be exposed. Whether he shows it or not, he notices the little things, how she responds to his body, his rhythm, his pace, or his silence. These reactions create either a safe emotional space or a wall he can't climb. When a woman offers reassurance without needing to speak it, through warmth, acceptance, or gentle playfulness, it disarms his internal critic. It tells him that he can let go, that he doesn't need to perform, that being himself is enough. That kind of energy creates a bond that lasts far beyond that night. He starts to see her not just as someone who's physically connected with him, but someone who knows how to handle his vulnerability with care, as a rare quality, and when a man finds it, he holds on to it in his memory. Men also notice how a woman handles her own vulnerability during intimacy. If she's open about her nerves, allows herself to be human, and meets the moment with honesty instead of pressure to be perfect, it gives him permission to do the same. There's a subtle but powerful exchange happening. Two people showing each other parts of themselves they don't show the world. And the judgment he forms isn't always about technique or behavior. It's about emotional tone. Was she kind when he was unsure? Was she patient when things didn't go perfectly? Did she make him feel judged or understood? These are the questions that shape his impression of her, and they don't need words to be answered. In that short span of time, he's gathering information about who she is when things get real, raw, and unscripted. He may forget the details, but he won't forget the feeling. Whether she made him feel empowered or exposed, respected or rejected, that emotional imprint stays with him. And from that, he decides not only how he sees her, but whether he can let her see more of him. During a first intimate moment, a man is paying attention to more than most women realize. One of the most powerful things he notices is how confident a woman feels in her own body. This isn't about being a certain size, shape, or fitting some unrealistic beauty standard. It's about how she carries herself, how comfortable she is with who she is, and whether she allows herself to be seen without fear or shame. Confidence is silent but loud. It radiates in the way she moves, breathes, touches, and reacts to being touched. When a woman is comfortable in her own skin, it puts him at ease too. It creates a natural rhythm, a freedom to enjoy the moment rather than overthink it. Insecurity, on the other hand, can show up in subtle ways. A quick cover-up, avoiding eye contact, flinching from compliments, or apologizing for her body. While these reactions are deeply human and understandable, they can shift the emotional energy in the room. A man may start to feel like he needs to manage her emotions, tiptoe around her insecurities, or overcompensate to make her feel okay. This can pull him out of the moment and make what should be a shared experience feel one-sided or heavy. He's not just watching what she does, he's feeling the atmosphere she brings into the room. A woman who walks in with quiet confidence, who embraces her imperfections instead of hiding them, brings a sense of openness that invites connection instead of fear. Men don't expect women to be flawless, but they are drawn to women who own their space. When a woman doesn't need constant reassurance or validation, she gives off the message that she already knows her worth. That's magnetic. It shows in the way she lets go of performance and simply enjoys the moment. That kind of presence tells a man that she's not seeking approval, she's offering a connection. He respects that. It tells him that she's emotionally mature, that she knows who she is, and that she's not afraid to let herself be seen. That authenticity often trumps anything else that might be happening physically. A man remembers how a woman made him feel about himself, but he also remembers how she seemed to feel about herself. When he sees that she holds herself with a sense of pride, not arrogance, but grounded self-assurance, it creates an emotional pull. It makes him want to get closer, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally. On the flip side, if she seems to shrink, if she constantly downplays herself, it can leave him feeling unsure of how to connect. The energy becomes hesitant instead of flowing. So he judges not her appearance, but her relationship with her appearance. He watches how she treats herself in that vulnerable space. And that tells him everything about whether this is someone who embraces life with courage or someone still afraid of being fully seen. That kind of insight doesn't fade quickly. It lingers in his memory long after the moment ends. After that first intimate moment, there's a quiet space that speaks louder than the act itself. It's in this window, those soft, unscripted moments right after, that a man begins to form some of his strongest judgments about a woman. He watches how she reacts, not just physically, but emotionally. He's tuned into her energy, trying to see whether she's present, calm, warm, or if her demeanor suddenly shifts into something that feels like pressure, expectation, or detachment. This is the point where many men begin to ask themselves silently, what does this mean to her, and what does she want from me now? If the energy changes dramatically and becomes emotionally heavy, like she's suddenly attaching a deep level of commitment or expectation to what just happened, it can create tension. It's not because men fear commitment inherently, it's because emotional pressure right after intimacy often feels rushed or unearned. It tells him that she might be more interested in what the moment could lead to than in what it actually was. He feels that. It's not always about words. It's about the shift in her eyes, her body language, the way she suddenly clings or questions or becomes overly serious. And when that shift happens, he starts to wonder if the intimacy was truly shared or if it was a transaction, a means to an emotional end. On the other side of the spectrum, some women pull away entirely after sex, becoming emotionally distant or cold, and men notice that too. It leaves them feeling used or confused, especially if the warmth from just moments ago disappears. This emotional withdrawal can feel like a wall being built, and men don't always understand why it's happening, but they feel it. That coldness makes them question whether there was any real connection at all, or if it was simply physical. And for a man who seeks more than just a physical bond, that sudden emotional detachment is disappointing, even if he doesn't express it. What stands out the most, what makes a lasting impression, is when a woman is simply calm, present, and grounded after intimacy. Not demanding, not disappearing, just being. When she's emotionally steady, it shows him that she's not using the moment to manipulate or rush into anything. She's just allowing the connection to unfold naturally. That energy is rare, and it stands out because it feels safe. It shows emotional maturity. It tells him that she values the moment, but she's not trying to control it. That kind of presence makes him feel respected, seen, and comfortable. It makes him want to stay close instead of retreat. Men judge this part more than they ever say out loud, because in those quiet moments after the physical connection, the emotional tone either deepens the bond or begins to unravel it. They're asking themselves, can I breathe around her? Can I be myself? Or do I already feel trapped by expectation? And those answers shape the way he sees her going forward, whether this is a moment he'll leave behind or a person he'll want to get closer to. During that first intimate experience, there's something a man is silently watching for that often goes unnoticed, whether a woman is truly present or just performing. It's not about technique or how wild or passionate the moment is. It's about whether she's genuinely connected to what's happening or simply playing out a script she thinks she's supposed to follow. And the truth is, men feel the difference deeply. A woman who is mentally and emotionally present creates a kind of connection that can't be faked. On the other hand, when a man senses she's putting on a show, it creates a sense of emotional distance, even if everything on the surface looks exciting. Many women have been taught, directly or subtly, to believe they have to act a certain way to be desirable, to exaggerate pleasure, to move a certain way, to say the right things. But when that behavior feels forced or disconnected from what she's really feeling, a man starts to pick up on it. He might not be able to describe it, but he'll feel like something is off. He might enjoy the moment physically, but emotionally, there's no anchor, there's no shared reality. And that's what real intimacy is, a shared experience, not a performance for someone else. A man often judges how aligned a woman is with herself in that moment. Is she in her body, aware of the sensations, in tune with him, moving in response to real feelings? Or is she in her head, worried about how she looks, trying to be what she thinks he wants? He notices when she reacts with authenticity, when her responses are natural, unrehearsed, raw. That kind of energy pulls him in because it creates trust. It says, I'm not trying to impress you, I'm just here sharing this moment with you. And that presence is rare, which is why it stands out so much. When a woman is just performing, the man feels like he's alone with someone wearing a mask. It can even feel emotionally exhausting for him because instead of connection, he's navigating a role she's trying to play. He's unsure whether she's enjoying the moment or just trying to manage his experience. That makes him question how real the moment is and ultimately how real she's being with him. Authenticity, even if it's quiet and subtle, makes a far deeper impression than any attempt to be perfect. But when she's actually present, when her touch has intention, when her eyes meet his with honesty, when she reacts in ways that feel unfiltered, it creates something unforgettable. She doesn't need to be loud or bold, she just needs to be real. That realness makes the man feel like he's not just with someone physically, but that he's been let into something private and true. It's not about performance, it's about participation. Being present doesn't mean doing everything right. It means being emotionally available and tuned into the experience as it unfolds. Men remember how you made them feel, not just what you did. They remember if you were open, honest, and fully there. And when they feel that kind of connection, it opens the door to something far more meaningful. It tells them that you're not playing a part, you're showing up as yourself. That's what builds attraction on a deeper level. And when a man feels that, even if the moment wasn't perfect in every way, he walks away feeling like he experienced something real, something rare. And it's that feeling that keeps him thinking about you long after. The moments that follow intimacy often speak louder than the intimacy itself. For a man, the way a woman behaves right after can become the defining memory of the entire experience. It's in this vulnerable, unguarded space, when walls are down and masks have dropped, that he begins to read her true emotional tone. He watches the energy she carries in those quiet minutes. Is she suddenly clingy, overly emotional, trying to define the relationship? Is she cold, emotionally distant, acting like it never happened? Or is she calm, grounded, and simply present with him in the aftermath of something intimate? Clinginess isn't about affection, it's about emotional pressure. A man can sense when a woman is reaching to secure something right away, whether it's reassurance, commitment, or affirmation. That kind of sudden emotional weight can feel suffocating, especially if they haven't built a deep emotional bond yet. He may feel like she's already trying to turn one moment into a promise. And even if he likes her, that urgency can trigger resistance. It doesn't make him want to come closer, it makes him want to pull back. He begins to wonder if she's more attached to the idea of being with someone than to him personally. And that thought plants doubt, even if everything before that moment felt good. On the other end of the spectrum is the cold withdrawal, the shift into silence, distance, or emotional disconnection. Sometimes women do this to protect themselves, fearing that showing softness or emotional presence might make them look weak or overly invested. But to a man, this kind of coldness feels like rejection. He starts questioning whether she actually enjoyed the experience or if she regrets it. He may wonder if she's ashamed, disinterested, or emotionally closed off. That silence or sharp shift can be just as heavy as neediness. It sends a signal that intimacy didn't mean much, or worse, that it was a mistake. And that makes him hesitant to try and reconnect, unsure of how to read her. What creates the deepest impact, the most memorable impression, is when a woman's energy after intimacy is calm, balanced, and emotionally mature. She doesn't rush to define what just happened, but she doesn't run from it either. She's not trying to secure the next step, and she's not pretending she feels nothing. She's just present. That calmness makes a man feel safe, like he's with someone who understands how to handle closeness without needing to control it. It shows him that she values the connection, but she's not using it to force clarity or build castles in her mind. She's living in the moment, letting it be what it is. That kind of presence stands out in a world where emotional reactivity is common. Men judge these post-intimacy moments more than they ever admit. It's not because they're cold or calculating, but because they're trying to understand who you are when things get real. When the distractions are gone and the vulnerability is exposed, your energy tells him everything. It tells him how you handle closeness, how secure you are in yourself, and whether you bring emotional safety or emotional chaos. These small, quiet reactions don't just affect how he feels in that moment. They shape how he sees you long term, whether he feels the need to protect himself, or whether he feels free to open up more, whether he sees potential for something deeper, or begins to pull away emotionally. So when a woman can meet that moment with warmth, self-assurance, and emotional balance, she communicates something powerful without saying a word. She tells him, "I'm not here to trap you or push you away. I'm just here, real and grounded." And that kind of energy, simple, steady, honest, is the kind that lingers long after the physical moment fades. In the end, the first intimate moment between a man and a woman is about far more than physical connection. It becomes a mirror, one where he quietly observes not just how she moves, but who she is underneath the surface. He pays attention to her emotional presence, how she handles vulnerability, how confident she is in her own skin, whether she's performing or being real, how she reacts afterward, and the kind of energy she carries once the moment is over. These unspoken cues shape his impression more than words ever could, because while chemistry might ignite desire, it's emotional depth, honesty, and self-assurance that leave a lasting impact. A woman who knows how to be fully present, without pressure, without pretending, becomes unforgettable. Not because she tried to be perfect, but because she dared to be real. And in that realness, she gives him something rare, a sense of safety, connection, and clarity in a world full of noise and performance. That's what stays with him long after the moment has passed.